Hello everyone, this is Debabrata once again, and today I'm planning to take a class some on creating some sample class. So we have learned a lot of thing till now. So whatever we know, whatever we have learned till now, if we can create something, some good class, something concrete, some perfect class, if we can build, that would be good. That would be a nice example to you as well. So we can try today to create some sample demo class that we can use in our real life as well. So uh, all the details and all the links, all necessary things will be available in the detail section of this class. If you check that once, you will get everything handy there. So now, today, also we will try to learn all these topics as well. So I'm not going through that for the time being because we will go through that topic wise one by one. So as a prerequisite, basic knowledge of programming, how to create class and object, those will be needed. Even if you do not know, that will also be okay. Because at first, I will try to show you some built-in class like ArrayList. So today we will not going to do much thing. We will just try to build the ArrayList class by ourselves. But first, let us check how ArrayList looks like in real world, because it is a class that is developed by the Java core developers. Means Java's own developers has built that for us, for the users, for the programmers. So let me go to the online. Let me use the online compiler today. You can use any compiler as per your wish. It is nothing complicated. So ArrayList class is available in the util folder, and you just need to create an object of that ArrayList class. Let's say AL and new ArrayList, and that's all. And after that, what you can do several things simply without taking a headache. Okay, first, if I try to add something here, so you can add, suppose al dot add 10. It looks like an array, and but handling array list is very simple. You do not need to do anything. It is already done by the Java developers. So if you want to use that, you can see okay, sorry, I have to add 10, 20, and 30, say three different numbers. If I run, you can see something that looks like an array, and it is having three different variables, 10, 20, 30. Even it might be asked during your interview rounds or in your exam, what is array list? So array list is something that is, I will not say that is available in the basic Java. Someone created that class array list, and it behaves like an array, and it is flexible. Means you do not need to define the size of the array, or array list. You do not need to define the size of the array list. If at first, if you check the size, it is 0. If I show you, so everything is so flexible. Means if I write al dot size, it will print the size of the array list, and at the end, if I print the same thing, it will be increased to 3. Initially it will be 0 whenever we have defined that without inserting any value. And inserting value is also easier. If you can remember whatever we have done in our array classes, to insert something in the middle or to insert something in the array and to change the size of an array is was a tough task, was a complicated task. It was not that simple. It was not like a one liner. It was that tough at that time. We have to write many lines of coding. Even if you can remember, if you have solved the exercise, intermediate and basic exercise of array, we had plenty of programs like that, plenty of requirements like, okay, insert a value in the middle, insert something at the end, something like that, and it was that complicated. But here we are achieving all of them just by writing one line. So here we will try to check what are the things available in ArrayList. These are ready-made. This is just the built-in. You just need to use that. You do not need to think how they are implemented. Just need to check what it is doing. You do not need to concentrate on How it is doing? No, you just need to concentrate on what it is doing. So add, it is taking one integer value and it is basically adding that element at the end. We have already explored that. We have already added 10, 20, 30 into the array list. Add int. So it is something like add at a particular position. If you want to add something in middle, you can write that I at one position I want to add 100. So basically it will look like 10, 100, 20, 30 because array list also starts from 0 like an array. So it is something like an array. So initially the size was 0, you can see, because I have tried to print the al.size, that is initially was 0. And at the end, it was 4 here. When I'm trying to see the size of the array list, it is 4. But in the middle, I have added 10, 20, 30. And at the position 1, I have tried to add 100. So you can see it's starting from 0 position. So at the position 1, this is the position. It will be the 20 and 30 will be shifted to the right and 100 will be inserted. If I try to insert something here, you will be able to see. First, it will look like 10, 20, 30. And suddenly 100 comes into the picture and it is inserted into the position 1. You can see initially it was 10, 20, 30 and after that 100 added. So we have two function like add. We have several functions. We are not going to check all of them, obviously, but we will try to check few of them. Okay, how they have created one class, how that looks. So that important means you do not need to know what is written inside the code. You do not need to focus on that. So you just need to know how it looks, what it is doing. Okay, what is written inside, how it is doing, you do not need to know. How it looks like, you just need to know that. Okay, so you can see we can use remove function as well. So suppose if I want to remove something from some position, suppose al.remove. Suppose I want to remove something from the position 0. So if I do, so 10 will be deleted from the final part. Okay, if I print the array list, so it is a simpler version of array. Probably you have already you can sense that it is a simpler version of array. So that's why in some exams and some people prefer array list over array because it is that flexible. You can see here 10 is deleted because I have tried to delete the number from the position 0. So that's the thing. If I go further, so get, if you want to get some particular values from some position, like at the end, let me try to print al.get, suppose I want to see the current value at position 0. So it will be 100 after deletion of 10. Obviously, at the first place or the 0th place, 100 will be available. So al.get 0 means it should print 100 at the output screen. You can see 100 is there. So that's the thing. If you want to check some individual value from the array list, you can get it from there. Okay, even you can run a for loop as well if you want. You can okay, let me delete all this and let me add few more values like al.add 40. Okay, let me delete this one. And here I can simply run for int I equals to 0, I less than al.size, because size will be 4 after the insertion, but array list starts from 0. So 0 to 3, I have to iterate. I can assume the for loop is, you are confident at the for loop programs, and it is that much easy program. I'm just iterating from 0 to 3, and I'm trying to print al.getI. So it will try to fetch all the values from the array list one by one. So you can see 10, 20, 30, 40 are being fetched one by one. So if you want to get all the individual values out of those array lists, it is something similar like an array. Okay, so that's the thing. What else we can do? Set. So if you want to change some value, so obviously like an array, it will not that much straightforward. So here, what you need to do, you just need to write al dot suppose set, at the 0 position, instead of 10, you want to set 100. So you can simply mention the position and you have to mention the new value, and that's all. And after that, if I print the whole array list, so at the first position, you probably see 100 instead of 10. You can see here it is 100, 20, 30, and 40. So it is that simple. If you want to change something, you set. So if you check in Google, there are many more programs available. Many more functions are available in ArrayList, but we are just dealing with only few of them, just to check the basic operations of ArrayList. So if next time, if anyone asks you to implement some program using ArrayList instead of array, at least you should feel comfortable, because these are the basic operations or basic functions of the ArrayList. So size, we have already discovered what is size. Is empty. Okay, if at the starting, if I try to print this function or this operation like al dot is empty, so it is going to show it true as answer. And if I want to print something at the end, so it will be false, because initially it was empty. That's why true will be printed. And at the end, obviously it is not empty anymore. So it will be false. You can see it is false and initially it is true. So that's the thing we have to. Those are the few things that we have to know, but you do not need to think about how to implement that if you are using this built-in class ArrayList. So there are many more classes available in advanced Java. So we are dealing with mainly core Java till now. So in core Java, no one is going to ask you about all those classes. So we have vectors, we have hash map, we have linked list, we have ArrayList. There are many more. Okay, but those generally comes under the advanced Java. But yeah, those are in the borderline between core Java and advanced Java. In core Java, you have to focus on how to develop those functions by yourself. So now, obviously, ArrayList is something that is already provided by the Java developers. We do not need to do anything. But still, if we try to create some ArrayList by ourselves, how it will look like? We are doing we will try to implement our own ArrayList class just to learn how they have built something like this. Okay, obviously someone has written all the codes inside, but it is an illusion. It is an abstraction to us. What is abstraction? Abstraction is one of the famous Java's property if you are going through the theories. So abstraction is one of the famous Java property. We have also discussed a bit of that in our class of encapsulation. The first topic was the difference between abstraction and encapsulation, but still we will again check abstraction here today with a practical example of ArrayList. So now here they are putting a thought into our brain like, okay, if you have defined something AL, that will be an ArrayList. And after that, you can do several operations like al.add, you can remove, you can get, you can set, you can do anything with that. You do not need to think about the size of the ArrayList. It is flexible. Whenever you want, you can delete, you can add, you can do anything. So AL is an ArrayList and that is super flexible. But in reality, it is an illusion they are trying to create. And that illusion is basically being called as abstraction. Now you are in doubt. So you might be thinking like what I'm trying to say as an illusion. So here actually AL is not an item like int x or int y. Whenever we define int x, x become integer. But here, whenever I'm defining ArrayList AL, a thought is coming in your mind like, okay, AL is now ArrayList. It is same like int x. If I ask you why x cannot take the value like 3.5, you will be saying because x is an integer. Because x is an integer, that's why it cannot take 3.5. But yeah, why integer cannot take 3.5? Yeah, as per definition. But how x is becoming an integer? Just by writing this way. Same thing if I ask you how AL becoming an ArrayList, how AL is taking all the properties of ArrayList. Means normally it cannot take. technically what is happening inside. Let's explore now. So I know you have few doubts, like what I'm trying to say. Let's explore. So if we try to create our own ArrayList class, suppose if I give a name like let me give a name like my ArrayList, my ArrayList, and here as well my ArrayList. The same thing, everything we will do the same. So first we are going to add something, and it should behave similar like their ArrayList. So first, if I close this one, if I close our part, this is built-in function. Okay, let me write. This is built-in function. This is sorry. This is built-in function created by Java developers. And here it will be something that is created by us. So both of them will be named like AL. So first we will try to check if this code is running or not. AL code, yeah, it is running. We are not printing, we are just adding, so it is running. So we will try to check if our code is running or not. So one time I will use their AL. If it is running, then we will try to run our AL. Okay, and I will try to build the similar thing with our coding. Okay, so I'm trying to create a class called myArrayList. They have also taken the similar approach. Trust me, they have taken also the similar approach. Okay, but their code is hidden. But we will try to build something similar as their coding. And our code, obviously, it will be visible. You can see how they have implemented all these things. And at the starting of our class, you are probably thinking like AL is just an array list. That's all. You are not thinking anything except that. Admit it. Try to note it down somewhere. We are thinking AL is an item. AL isn't just array list. Okay, let me write it somewhere, because at the end of the class, your thought might be changed. So here I'm writing AL is just an array list. What I'm talking about, you are not able to understand. So as at this moment, you are thinking like this. Okay, so let's jump into the topic now. If I try to build something similar in our array list, so I have to introduce something called void add. Suppose. So void add, and it will take a value. Obviously, you can see 10, 20, something might come. So it will be X, say. So, okay, initially our array list will be having only one array inside. And that size of that array will be 0 initially. And that will be hidden. No one can see from the outside. You cannot sense like, okay, one array is hidden at their array list as well. Okay, so just try to remember what you are thinking now, because after showing the code, after if I show you the code, your thought will be changed. Okay, so void add index, suppose, and I'm trying to create one array, dynamic array with the size called a dot length plus 1. We have explored that in our array classes. There was one topic called dynamic array, but still, if you forget that, whatever array we have currently, we will be trying to generate a temporary array with one size by increasing that array by one size. That is the first task. Then I will try to copy. Okay, here the first line is for introducing an array with increasing size as 1. With increasing size 1. So now I'm trying to copy everything from the existing array to that temp array, newly created temp array. So here I will just write I equals to I plus 1. And I'm trying to copy everything from AI to temp simply. So that's the thing. So here I'm trying to copy. Let me write all those steps. So this is the second step. copying all the element. If you have already gone through the array classes in this playlist, obviously you know that, but still, if you are new to this class, at least you have to go through all these things. How the array size is increasing dynamically, you have to understand that. At the last position of the array, that is temp length -1. So at that position, I'm inserting that value x. The extra value I'm adding into the last position. So the new value added into the last position. And at the end, I will assign temp into A. So A will be holding, so the temp array will be known as A from now on. So initially we have, suppose if we have 10, 20, 30, and in the A array, suppose, and after that we are declaring temp array. So that is the first step with 4 places, 1 place extra with the extra size. So next step, I have to copy everything from A array to temp array. So 10, 20, 30 will be copied. Now 40 has been inserted. So 40, third step, 40 will be placed inside here in the temp array at the last position. And the last step is now this temp array will be recognized by A. So old A array will be gone. So this is our new A array. So I can write A equal A will be temp array will be known as A. Now onwards, temp array will be known as A array. Okay, so this 4th step we have to do. So now if I run all these things with our AL, means our code, it is also running. It is not giving an error. So that is one of the practical implementation of the dynamic array. So obviously today we will try to implement our own ArrayList class, and obviously by doing that we will obviously learn 4 different topics, and that will be a practical example of all those things. We know many things till now, so today we will try to create something concrete, something perfect out of all those knowledges. So we have learned many things. So the topic 1, I can say like the real use of dynamic array. So increasing array on demand. So initially it will be 0. Whenever you are trying to add something, it will be added. So you do not need to know like what will be the size of the array in prior. You do not need to give any input like, okay, the array size is 5 or something like that. Whenever user will add something, it will be increased. So that is the first thing. So topic 2, I will try to show you the real use of method overloading. So what is method overloading? Here you can see add can be used in 2 ways. So if I want, I can do something like in second position, I want to add 100. Suppose I have 5 elements at the starting. I have 5 elements, 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And now at the second position, I want to put 100. So how to do that? So here I have to introduce another add. And that will not be added. That element will not be added at the end. It will be added in the middle, somewhere in the middle. So pause for position and second input index. So here again, I'm introducing a temp array. Let me think the logic, because I cannot remember that. Okay. Obviously, you shouldn't remember or shouldn't memorize your code. So here at this position, suppose at second position, I have to add 100. Say, so here second position means 0, 1, 2. In this position, I have to put the 100 here actually, somehow. So what I need to do, let me think. So here, till that position, till the less than of that position, I will copy everything from tempi to AI. I will copy everything. Next, temp, how can I copy? Temp position, in that position, I will try to copy X. So first 10 and 20 will be copied by this loop. Next, at the second position, at the position 2, I'm copying 100. At position 2, I'm copying 100. And after that, 30, 40, 50 will be copied from the next positions. Let's see. So here I can define something like int I here. And here I'm going to use another for loop for I equals to say, let me think, pos +1 and I'm just putting, I'm trying to think some logic from array side. And from temp length, we have done couple of things from array. I'm not explaining this thing much because it comes under the logical part. So I'm just trying to write some logic of array here. So temp I will be taken from ai minus 1 because a has one size less. So what I'm doing, 3 steps here. First step, 10 and 20. Suppose if I still explain, because I cannot skip anything. So let me try to explain. So this was our original array. And now I want to enter 100 in between that. So first I will copy 10 and 20. So AI going into temp. After that, at the second position, I'm talking about this line. At the position 2, I'm putting 100. And after that, in position, so this is 0, 1, and 2, and this is 3, 4, and 5. So this is temp array. Okay, let me write it somewhere. This is temp array. And this is array A. Say. So now, in temp array, 3, 4, 5 will be copied from 2, 3, 4. So here 30 will come, here 40 will come, here 50 will come. So the same thing I have written in this format. So from position to the end, I'm copying temp I from the values are being taken from ai minus 1. So again, I'm not going into that logical for loops and array questions. If you do not understand, then still it is okay. Okay, still it is okay. So now, okay, let me delete this line because I have already inserted the value of x here in the middle. So we do not need to place that again at the end. Okay, at last a will be temp. That's all. If I run, it should work. But I have not tested it yet. But yeah, it is not giving any error. So it is running fine. So we are doing this in our array list that is called my array list. We are not using their array list that is created by Java developers, but both should behave same. So now if I use their array list and if I try to print, if I try to print the AL, let me check how it behaves. So obviously 10, 20, 30, 40 will be 50 will be inserted and at the position 200 will be coming inside that. So now if I close that and if I try to print our own array list, we have to check how it behaves. But before that, if I go to the slide, so this is the basic example. Why should we use method overloading? So here we are using two adds to add, you can see, with different parameter list. You might be thinking at the class of function. So it is basically, we are doing a revise class, whatever we have already known. Whatever we have already gone through. So it is kind of revise. So we have already learned what is method overloading in our function class. In chapter function second class, we have learned that probably. So we knew we can use the same name in function if the number of parameters, type of parameters, and sequence of parameters are different. If you haven't gone through that function class, let me repeat myself. You can use the same name of the function if the parameter lists are different. So here, on the first occasion, we are taking one parameter. On the second occasion, we are taking two parameters. And that is why we can create a function with the same name. We can create two different functions with the same name. Now, few of us, when even I have learned that thing in my college life, I thought, what is the use of using the same name? We can use the different names like add. For the first time, I can use add. For the next time, I can use insert. Simply. But it will be tough for the user to remember both of the names. Like, okay, if I want to add at the end, I have to use the function called add. If I want to add something in the middle, I have to use the function named insert. That is something not good for the user. What user will do? User will simply just ignore your application, and he or she will install some new application where the things are more simpler. For the outcome should be simpler. You can see the outcome is very easy. You can remember at the first what you have thought. Is just an array list. You didn't know whatever is written behind. So actually, we use the same name just to keep everything simpler, nothing else. So whenever user want to add something at the end, he will just write add 50. 50 will be added at the end. If he or she wish to insert something in the middle, so just they can use add. They can use the position name, position value, and the value as well. And it will be inserted in the middle, somewhere in the middle. They do not need to know both the function name, like, okay, there will be one function name like add, there will be a function name like insert, there will be a function name like something else. So the name will be same always. It will behave differently as per the position, as per the different parameter values. If you give one value, it will be added at the end. If you specify the position, it will be added at that position. But the code may look like complicated. You have to spend several weeks behind the code. But yeah, for the user, it will look that simple. And that is the actual use of method overloading, because it is obviously not better to use different names. Okay, so that's the thing. And obviously, we are still going through some illusion. And for that illusion, you are thinking like AL is just an array list. They have printed AL in a very simple way. You can see they have just printed AL in that way. But if I use our array list, our object, you can feel, okay, sorry, let me choose our array list. It was already chosen. I changed that. Okay. So it is just an object. It is just an object, nothing more than that. So how can I simply print an object like this? If you can remember, if I create something called, suppose if I create a bank account for Iron, so bank Iron equals to new bank, suppose. And now I can do something like Iron dot balance inquiry. I can call something like Iron dot submit. Suppose Iron wants to insert $100, something like that. Iron dot withdraw. Iron want to withdraw $500. Suppose we can do all those things. But how can I print Iron? System dot out dot println Iron. How can I print Iron? Iron is an object. It is not that simple. It is an illusion to you. When they are trying to print AL, you are thinking like, okay, they are printing array list. But in our case, it is an object. How can I print that object? If you want to print some object, you have to use a method called string. So, and it should looks like our output should match with their output. So let me try to create something. So whenever someone try to run some object, it will always search for some toString method. Okay. So, okay. And just remember, we have to build something like this. Let me check if I can copy that. Okay, no, I cannot copy. So I have to build something like this at that. Okay. So, okay. First, let me try to print the AL. Let me check how it looks. It is showing some error. It is showing something. Okay, something, it is giving something wrong. Okay, sorry, I have changed it to insert. Okay, sorry, it will be add. I'm trying to print AL here. One by one, I'm trying to print AL. So it is showing some absurd nonsense value. Because whenever you are trying to print your object, it always search for toString method. We do not have anything called toString, so we have to create something like toString. So toString is a method name. You cannot change the name. It has to be always toString, and it will return a string, and the name of the function is toString. It will return string. Okay. And probably we have to write public at the front, but we will, let me delete first. If it can be built without public, we will do that. So string toString means it will return a string, and the name of the function is toString. So whenever it is the rule, whenever someone try to call the object, try to print the object directly, it will look for the toString method. So first, let me create something called string s equals to, I have to create something like them. So let me create a bracket first. And after that, bracket a space. And after that, for int I from 0 to I less than a dot length, whatever the size of that array, a dot length minus 1, sorry, I equals to I plus 1. And I will keep adding them, s equals to s plus. I will keep adding them, all the values of that array, one by one into that string. And they will be separated by 1 comma. And that's all. And at the end, when it, okay, at the end, I have to put a closing bracket. I have to put a closing bracket, and I guess that's all. And I will return the s. So now if I print our AL, it will print the good value. Okay, so here it is saying toString in my array list cannot override toString in object. Okay, so probably we have to use public. Okay, so now let me run once again. What we have done, I will explain later. So it is not coming into the context. So let me compare. It is our array list is printed in this way. But let me check what their array list is printing. So no initial space, I guess. So we will try to create exactly same replica of their array list. And probably one extra comma is appearing at the end. So in their case, how it is getting printed, let me check. Okay, no initial space, 10, 20, 30, 40, and 50. Okay, fine, something like that they are printing. So we will try to do the same thing. So no initial space. After comma, we will put a space, fine. And there will be no comma for the last value. Means after 50, there will be no comma. So I'm going to print everything till the second last value here. And after that, what I'm trying to print, s equals to s plus, the last value I will print here separately. And after that, a plus, a bracket. So now, if I print their array list first, it is printing fine. And let me try our array list now. It should print the same. So we are trying to build something similar to them. We have to understand how they have built their array list inside. Again, in the real life, you do not need to know how they have built. You just need to know what they have built, what is the use. You just need to know how it looks like. That's all. You do not need to know how they have created all those things. What is the code written inside? You do not need to know all those things. But here, we are trying to build something similar so that the idea will be clear. So it is not that simple. They are printing AL. AL is just an array list. It is not that simple. It is just an illusion. Because inside, they have already also written some code like this. But it is hidden. But illusion is coming to the programmers or to the users like, okay, AL is just an array list. And we are printing that array list. That's all. What big deal? So now probably you can understand where we have written. So now probably you can understand AL is just not a array list only. AL is an object of a class. And the class named my array list, or might be name, might be anything. So AL is just is an object. It is not just an array list. So this illusion in front of you is being called an abstraction. So this is a perfect example of abstraction. We thought like, okay, we are printing array list, but it is not that simple. Okay, so you have to focus on, so as a normal user only will check what it is doing, not how it is doing, what is the code inside. They will not going to go into that details. They will be just using that. In real life as well, we are also thinking, if you are driving, if you can drive a four-wheeler, you are just thinking, if I rotate the steering at the right, the car will move into the right. It is that simple. But no, in reality, it is not that simple. Some tough mechanisms are written in, means tough mechanism are implemented inside that car. So, but for the normal user, for the normal driver, it is that simple. We are rotating the we are just rotating the steering in at the right, so the car is moving to the right. But it is not that simple in reality. And that simpler representation is called abstraction. Okay. Do not need to show all the details to the user. Just present everything in a simpler way. Can you imagine that all these codes are written inside that ArrayList class when you have used that for the first time? No. You can understand all this because we are going to implement all of them now. Okay. So now get and set method, we also need to know that. What is get and set method? No one gives the access to your to pick to access your array inside. So this is the actual array sitting inside the array list. But obviously, when we are using their array list, they are not giving me the access, or they are not telling me about the array is hidden in their array list. They are not going to tell me that. So what they are doing, they are saying, okay, if you want to access something, just use al.get something. al.get. So it is a standard method. If you want to access the zeroth term, zeroth value, the value at the position 0, you just need to write al.get 0. They will never disclose, they will never give you the access into their original variable stored inside. So obviously we were going to do the same thing. We are not going to say we are using an array A inside. So we will also try to hide our own variable. We will try to create something similar to them. So if I try to write this get function, okay, if I run this, it will give the error now because we have not implemented something called get. So now here, if we write something called, it will return something. So int get, int I, suppose. Here inside, we will just return, simply return a of I. But still, it is that simple, but still we are not going to disclose that we are using one array inside named A, because they are not also disclosing all those details. Why should we? Why should we disclose all of our details? Let it be secret. We will just return AI. It is that simple. Now, if I run al.get will work and it will print 10 as the value at the position 0. If I put get 1, it will be 20. It is behaving same like them. Okay. So if I proceed, okay, what we have used in their case, what else we have used? So we can do something called al.set. So at the second position, I want to, or at the first position, I want to change the value to 200. So 20, I want to change it to 200, suppose. So how to do that? So okay, first let me run their code. How it behaves, let me take a look. So the second value from 20, it is changed to 200. So we are trying to do the same thing here. So here it will be void because it is not returning something. So you have to very confident with your coding, how to use the function, how to use the for loop, how to use the array. But here the class is about, not about showing you how to write the code. It is, I'm trying to show you how they are creating their classes, how they are creating one good class. From the next class onward, from the next chapter, we will try to create our own class, and that will be useful. And all the details will be hidden inside the class, inside the function. Only user can see how to work with that. How we have written the code, we will try to hide that inside. Okay. But for the first step, we will try to check their code, how their code is behaving. Obviously, they have not shared any code with us. So we will just try to check what they have developed we will try to develop something similar to that by ourselves. And next day onwards, we will try to build something that is new, that is not created by them yet. Okay, so something like that. But here, for the time being, I'm taking two value inside the function, and here I'm trying to write a pause equals to val. It is that simple. It is that simple. So people says, when I was in college, I saw many of my friends was saying like get method, set method, or getter method, setter method. It is nothing but hiding your variable inside. Do not need to disclose that you are using array named A. Do not need to disclose that. Just expose get and set method. If you need to get some value, if you want to read some value from your array, use get. If you want to write some value, if you want to change some value, use set. But I'm not going to tell you I'm using an array named A. And even I'm not going to give you the access on that array A. Okay. If anyone gets the access of your balance variable from your bank class, anyone can manipulate that. No one can track that. No one can track who is doing what. But I will not give the access to my balance variable or any variable inside our class. Never ever. From the next class onwards as well, we are not going to disclose what are the variables we are using inside. It might be balance variable in the bank class. It might be the A variable or A array inside our my array list class. We are not going to disclose. It should look simpler like this. Okay. So now if I want to use our array list instead of theirs array list, so it should behave properly now. Yeah, you can see it is able to set the same thing. So both the codes are behaving in a same way. So if I want to, what else we have learned, we have seen in their array list. Okay, size was one of them. So al.size always returns the size of the array. So if I run their part, so it will be something 5 size probably, or 6 size. Okay, 6 size array. So here we can do the same thing. So here it is returning. So because we are printing something here, I know you have the basic idea of function. So if not, just revise the class of function, because I'm not showing all those things, all those easy thing or all those logical topics here. My purpose is not the same. So here I'm just returning the array length. Simple thing. Okay, so if I run our code, okay, no, it is still not our code. Okay, let me open our code. So l.size should give the same output like them. You can see, yeah, it is giving 6. What else? What else? Is empty was one of the function. So here, if I write system.out.println is empty. So it is also that simple. So let me copy this one. So int, not int, it will be returning boolean. So boolean is empty. So everything we can build. Next time, if you see anything, okay, I can write something return a dot length equals to 0. If it is true, if it is a dot length equals to 0, then it will return true. If it is false, it will return false simply if I run. So next time onwards, whenever you see some new class, so you have to think how they have built that. You do not need to think like a normal user. It is not like you will just use that and pass by that. It is not something like that. You have to think how they have built all those things, because for towards the user it will look that simple. They will try to create some illusion in your mind like, okay, AL is just an array list. You can add, you can set, you can get, you can check all those things. Even you can remove as well. So the last code I can write, that is remove. Suppose I want to delete something from position 3. Okay, so position 3 means, okay, let me remove all those things. 10, 20, 30, 40, 50. And if I remove something, it will be 30 will be removed. No, 0, 1, 2, 3. Okay, 40 will be removed. Okay, so how to write this code? So let me write the last code. So void remove, and it is taking a position here. So what I will do, let's revise the dynamic array once again. So int temp, new int, and this temp array will be having one size less than the original array. So because we are going to delete something. So a dot length -1 here. Except the third position, I'm going to copy everything. So for int I equals to 0 and also j equals to 0 till I less than a dot length. And every time I'm going to read I equals to I plus 1. So if I not equals to position, that position I'm trying to delete. If it is not equals to that position, I'm trying to copy it inside the temp. So temp j equals to ai. It is simply a simple array example. I'm not explaining much. And here I can write j equals to j plus 1. So I is visiting all the positions of a array. If it is not that desired position, means except that position, I will copy everything inside temp. And j equals to j plus 1. That simple it is. And at the end, a equals to 10. So one value will not be copied, which is at position pause. And pause is given by the user. Here you can see. And that's all it is. So now if I run, okay, let me check which version I'm running. Okay, I'm running their version. So 10, 20, 30, 40 is deleted. So now if I run our version, it should give the same output because we are trying to copy their code. We are trying to build something similar to them. Here it is 10, 20, 30, and 50. 40 is deleted. So I will provide this code in the description section of this class. But again, from the next time onwards, whenever you will see some classes like this, it might be ArrayList class, it might be linked list class, it might be anything, the vector, it might be a hash map, anything. You have to remember whatever class you are using, that is built by someone. It might look that simple in front of you, but all those things are being written by someone. All the codes, there might be many codes written behind that. So you have to remember that thing. So here now, if I show you, my ArrayList class becomes that long. Okay, but user will not be able to sense all this coding from the front. So all those code are written by us today. And to the user, it will look that simple. And that is being called as a abstraction, a simpler version to the user. And these are the 4 topics we have learned. So get set method, yeah, we are done, and that's all. So my purpose was today to revise everything and to show you a perfect example, whatever we have learned till now. Okay. So from the next time onwards, try to think about the coding written behind if you see some new classes. You just do not only use that because you are a programmer, you are not a user. So just try to think about the code written behind that. From the next class, we will try to create some new classes which is not implemented by Java yet. Okay, so that's all for the day. If you have any doubt, any confusions, anything going in your mind, just try to express that by the comment section. Okay, I will try to make you understand what is happening. And if your code is not running, even if it is giving some error messages, also paste that code into the comment section. We will try to check. And that's all for the day, and bye.